Good evening, class. So, tonight we will study the aggravating circumstances. So, let us define what is aggravating circumstances. Aggravating circumstances are those which, if attendant in the commission of the crime, serve to increase the penalty without, however, exceeding the maximum of the penalty provided by law for the offense. So the effect, if a crime is attended by aggravating circumstances, the effect is to increase the penalty. So what are the aggravating circumstances that we are referring to? Under Article 14 of the revised Penal Code, there are 21 paragraph referring to aggravating circumstance. And unlike mitigating circumstance, wherein in the last paragraph there is a statement which says any other analogous circumstance. In paragraph 10 of Article 13, in mitigating circumstances, that and finally any other circumstance of similar nature and analogous to those above mentioned is considered as mitigating circumstance. In contrast to aggravating circumstance, there is no statement, just like what we have mentioned in the mitigating circumstance. So, ang epekto niyan, kapag wala dito sa enumeration ng aggravating circumstance, it cannot be appreciated against the accused. Unlike in mitigating circumstance, if there are instances analogous to the circumstance mentioned in Article 13, a mitigating circumstance or an instance that will lower the penalty might be appreciated. But in aggravating circumstance, there's no such statement. So, whatever is the enumeration in Article 14 in aggravating circumstances, yun na yun. Walang maaring maidagdag dyan. Okay, paragraph 1. What is the first aggravating circumstance? That taken advantage, or that advantage be taken by the offender of his public position. So why this instance is considered as aggravating circumstance? This is because of the greater perversity of the offender as shown by the personal circumstance of the offender and also by means used to secure the commission of an offense. So this aggravating circumstance, taking advantage of his public position, applies only when the person committing the crime is a public officer who take advantage of his position. Meaning that the public officer must use the influence, the prestige, or the ascendancy of his office to give him a means by which he realized his purpose. So ginamit niya ang influence, prestige, and ascendancy of his office. Ginamit niya yung pagiging public officer as a means to commit a crime. He has taken advantage of his position as public officer. So what is the example for this aggravating circumstance? Example, if a police officer in uniform abducted a girl by availing himself of his position. Or the chief of police who during the search of a boat by means of intimidation obtained money from the crew. Or a special agent of military police who committed robbery with homicide with the gun which he had been authorized to carry as a peace officer. So those are sample of a crime wherein aggravating circumstance of taking advantage of position as a public officer is appreciated. Yan. Halimbawa dyan, pulis ka, ginamit mo sa pang-hold up ang baril na inisyu sa'yo ng gobyerno which you are allowed to carry outside of your residence. So you have taken advantage of your position as public officer. Or for example, you are a councilor or a city mayor or a mayor or a governor. Then you have raped a certain employee, an applicant for a certain position in your office. So hindi mo magagawa yung crime na yon if you are not a mayor, you are not a councilor, or you are not a governor. If you have taken advantage of your position, then that aggravating circumstance can be appreciated. Number 2, that the crime be committed in contempt of or with insult to the public authorities. Why this is considered as aggravating circumstance? This is based on a greater perversity of the offender as shown by his lack of respect for public authorities. Siyempre, if you are carrying a position, a public office, you should have been respected. Hindi man lang irespeto ang iyong pagkatao, pero yung posisyon dapat irespeto. So what are the requisites for this circumstance? That the public authorities engage in the exercise of his function, that he who is thus engaged in the exercise of said function is not a person against whom the crime is committed, that the offender knows him to be a public authority, and his presence has not prevented the offender from committing the criminal act. So ano yung halimbawa dito? Halimbawa, nag-aaway si A and B sa harapan ng isang municipal mayor. Nandoon mismo yung municipal mayor. Alam nila na ang tao na yun ay municipal mayor. At yung mayor, they have attempted to separate A and B. Sinubukan niya na awatin si A and B sa kanilang pag-aaway, pero hindi nakinig si A and B. Patuloy sila sa pagsasagutan, patuloy sila sa away until A succeeds killing B, hanggang sa kanilang pag-aaway ay nahantong sa pagpatay ni A kay B. In that instance, the killing is aggravated by the circumstance that the crime is committed in contempt or in insult, with the insult to the public authority. We go to number 3. That the act be committed with insult or in disregard of the due respect or respect due to offended party on the account of his rank, age, and sex, or that it be committed in the quarry, in the dwelling of the offended party if the latter has not given provocation. So in this paragraph, there are four aggravating circumstances that is being referred to. What are those? Disregard of rank, age, sex, and that the crime is committed in dwelling. This paragraph 3 is only applicable to the crimes against person or honor. So what is this disregard of rank of the offended party? There must be a difference in social condition of the offender and the offended party. So kailangan magkaiba yung kanilang social condition. Halimbawa, yung biktima ay teacher, tapos ang offender, ang perpetrator ay ang estudyante. So, there is a disregard of rank. Example also, if there is an attack against the judge by the one who is an accused in a case, there is also a disregard of rank. Or there's an attack against the general of the Philippine Army, and the attack is committed by a private army or of the lower rank. So there is also a disregard of rank against the offended party. How about the disregard of age? For example, the aggressor is 45 years old, but he attacked the victim who is 75 years old or 80 years old. So there is a clear disregard of the age of the offended party. Another example is that the crime was committed in disregard of respect due to the victim on the account of age and relationship, the accused being the grandson of the victim. So the victim is lolo, inatake siya ng kanyang apo. So there is a disregard of age. How about the disregard due to sex? For example, A and B were sweetheart. Sila ay magkasintahan. Ang sabi ni B kay A na hindi na niya mahal ang kanyang kasintahan. So dahil dito, si A na lalaki ay pinagsasaksak si B. So, sa sitwasyon na ito, sabi ng Supreme Court in People versus Mangsant, if it was not proved or admitted by the accused that when he committed the crime, he had the intention to offend or to disregard the sex of the victim, so no disregard of respect due to sex. So ano yung example of disregard of sex? Example in US versus Wibenko, wherein a person compels a woman to go to his house against her will. So the crime of coercion is aggravated by the disregard of sex. Another example is when a direct assault upon a lady teacher. So, habang nagtuturo, ang isang babaeng guro, inatake siya ng offender. while in her classroom. So, the disregard of sex will be appreciated. And what are the other circumstances wherein the disregard of sex as an aggravating circumstance cannot be appreciated? Number one, when the offender acted with passion and obfuscation. So in that instance, disregard of sex is not appreciated. Next, where there is a relationship between the offended party and the offender. So, for example, they are married, they are husband and wife. So, the disregard of sex cannot be appreciated. Another is when the condition of being a woman is indispensable in the commission of a crime. So it is already inherent, just like in the crime of rape, abduction, parricide, and seduction. Sex is not considered as aggravating. Next, that the crime is committed in the dwelling of the offended party. What do you mean by dwelling? Dwelling must be a building or a structure exclusively used for rest and comfort. So a combination of the house and a store or a market stall where the victim sleep is not considered as a dwelling. So, para ma-appreciate yung aggravating circumstance na dwelling, kailangan yung structure ginagamit for rest and comfort. So rest and comfort, that the structure is used for rest and comfort. A combination of the house and a store or a market stall wherein the victim sleep is not appreciated as dwelling. So dwelling is considered as an aggravating circumstance. This is because of the greater perversity of the offender as shown by the place of the commission of an offense. Dwelling is considered as an aggravating circumstance primarily because of the sanctity of privacy the law accord to the human abode. So if the crime happens in a dwelling or in a structure wherein that structure is intended for rest and comfort, the aggravating circumstance of dwelling is appreciated. So in dwelling, the offended party must not give a provocation. So kailangan hindi manggaling sa biktima ang provocation para ma-appreciate ang dwelling as aggravating circumstance. Dwelling is not aggravating although the incident happened in the house of the victim where the stabbing was triggered off by his provocation and insulting act. For having given sufficient provocation before the commission of the crime, he has lost his right to respect and consideration due him in his own house. So if it is the victim was given a provocation immediate to the commission of the crime, then the aggravating circumstance of dwelling cannot be appreciated. So what includes dwelling? Dwelling includes dependencies and the foot of the staircase and enclosure under the house is appreciated as dwelling. In the following cases, the dwelling is not an aggravating circumstance when both offender and the offended party are occupants of the same house. Then when the robbery is committed by the use upon force upon things, dwelling is not an aggravating because it is inherent in that crime. Robbery through the use of force upon things. Siyempre, bago ka makakommit ng crime na yun, kailangan gumamit ka ng force on things. Pumasok ka sa pintuan o sa bintana, sinira mo, sa bahay ka pumasok ng victim. So it's already inherent in that crime. So it cannot be appreciated as an aggravating circumstance. Also in the crime of trespass to dwelling, wherein it is inherent and included by law in the definition of the crime. Another, when the owner of the dwelling gives sufficient and immediate provocation. Yan yung sinabi ko kanina, kapag yung biktima ang nagbigay ng sufficient and immediate provocation, that aggravating circumstance cannot be appreciated. Next, when the dwelling where the crime was committed did not belong to the offended party. Nangyari ang crime sa bahay, pero yung biktima ay hindi nakatira doon sa bahay na yon. So, dwelling is not considered as an aggravating circumstance. How about in this case? The following cases, Supreme Court has found out an aggravating circumstances of dwelling. Number 1, the victim was raped in the boarding house where she was a bed spacer. So, although yung biktima hindi niya pagmamayari yung buong bahay, but she is a bed spacer. Nagre-rent lamang ng isang kwarto, ng isang higaan doon sa bahay na yon. The rape committed against the victim, an aggravating circumstance of dwelling was appreciated. Next, the victim was raped in the paternal home where they are guests at the time and did not reside there. So, yung biktima ay bisita lamang sa kanilang bahay ng kanilang lolo. Nangyari ang pagre-rape, dwelling is appreciated in that case. Next, the victim was killed in the house of her aunt where she was living with her niece. So yung biktima pinatay doon sa bahay ng kanyang auntie na kung saan siya ay nakikitira. Although hindi niya pagmamayari ang bahay, pero dwelling still is appreciated in that case. Next, the victim while sleeping as a guest in the house of another person were shot to death in that house. Again, in another instance, in another case, ang biktima ay nakitulog lang sa kanyang kaibigan. Kahit hindi niya pagmamayari ang bahay na yon, doon siya binaril. That instance, the dwelling is appreciated.